We really got to get out of this victim mindset, because here's the thing. I'm telling y'all what the other races think about us, and they laugh behind the scenes. They ain't going to tell you that, though. You got to tell the uncomfortable truth. It ain't going to be white people. I'll tell y'all right now, white people in the background, they laughing. Yo, these black guys, man. Oh, these black people, all they do is cry and complain. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, they're buying more Jordans. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, they're buying more designer. Ho, 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 ho. Like, they're laughing at you niggas, bro. Because they look at it like, yo, these guys, all they do is cry and complain about their situation, and they don't necessarily want to be better, blah, blah, blah. And they just laugh about it. They'll never say it out in public, of course, because they don't want to be called racists or bigots or whatever. But I'll call it out because, yo, too many people have a victim mindset. I'm saying what a lot of people wish they could say, but they can't.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Jay here. I'm sitting here editing videos. The video that we're dropping this week is going to be a little different. It's actually an old video from before our computer died. And as you can see, it's back. I would like to thank family, the Quicks, for hooking us up. I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet, because this video looks like it's gonna be long. Also, at the end of the video, we have like sort of an update of some of the stuff that was happening behind the scenes that, you know, for those of you that really mess with us, really watch videos, we put that at the end for you guys. So when you see me all bundled up and we outside and we cold looking, that's gonna be that extra stuff. It's not really gonna be on the topic that we're talking about, but that's just sort of an insight into our life. So that'll be it. That was my not so short PSA, and I'll holler at you guys later.
Immigrants, specifically, again, the successful ones, think about black people and the victimhood mentality, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, this is not gonna be for the faint of heart. This is gonna be the honest to God truth in regards to how they feel, because I know personally how they feel. A lot of these immigrants that come over here to this country, they end up being very successful by just working hard, starting businesses, living below their means, basically doing all the right things, despite the so-called systemic racism that's supposed to be keeping so-called people of color down in this country. We're going to get into this, but I want to give a warning here about the language. There's a whole lot of language. I may or may not edit it out, right? Depends on how much it is, depends on how long it takes. But I'm just telling you guys, if you don't like a bunch of language, this is not the video for you, but it does have a very powerful message.
I just felt some type of way about the fact that, like, the civil rights movement made it possible for Bajans and Sudanese to, you know, become great in this country. And then in the process of that sacrifice, it's like African Americans that getting shitted on by the same people that they sacrificed for them to get here.
Yo, you're funny, bro.
When did we ever make fun of the civil rights movement or anybody that helped
He's trolling.
black people achieve equality in the United States?
You trolling, right? Are you serious, bro?
No, I'm not trolling at all. I'm not trolling at all. I mean, the narrative is y'all don't talk about just the amount of African American inventors, the fact that we had our hands in literally every genre of music. There's a lot, you know, to be said, and I just felt that, you know, to just single out Black Americans from out the entire diaspora. Like, we don't go to Barbados and talk about Bajans. We don't go to Sudan and talk about, you know, Sudanese. Like, we have home training. We have manners. You know?
Okay, so what is your issue in particular? Because I mean, you're speaking in. I want you to narrow it down. Like, I'm trying to understand here. Like, where did we ever say that the civil rights movement was, like, we've never insulted anyone that was involved with civil rights or any of that?
Well, you have said that Black Americans are lazy, that they're soft, that they're and they're to put it in verbatim.
Well, that is not verbatim, because I never said all black people are like that. I just said I said the black community likes to take on the victim mindset a lot of the times as to, you know, civil injustices and use that as an excuse for why they're not where they want to be. Which is true.
Okay.
You can't sit there and blame systematic racism and all these other stupid ass social buzzwords for why you're not where you want to be. You can't.
Yeah, so I hope you guys get the gist of what provoked what, in my opinion, is a pretty epic rant. Let's get into it.
Losers, because I don't know on Twitter. Well, Myra's not even black because his parents weren't here in 1951 and they didn't suffer from the civil rights, blah, blah, all that. Shut the up, bro. Because let me tell y'all something. When the police or the man or the white people come, they're not going to pull up on me and be like, hey, listen, excuse me, sir. Were your parents here in the 1800s during times of slavery? Okay, no, okay. Were you, did anyone in your family march in the civil rights movement? No, okay, all right, we're gonna let you off. You're not really a black guy. No, they don't care about that. But you stupid on Twitter, well, you're not really black because on ancestry.com you only get back at 73% because you come from North Africa and you don't be in the sub-Saharan. Shut the up. The same people that you cry about that are oppressors don't give a about all these other stupid little asterisks that you guys want to use to say, I'm more black than you and I'm more black than you. All you motherfuckers doing are trying to sit there and say, well, I should be a victim more. I should be a victim more. I should deserve to be a loser more. That's all. Wait. That's all you motherfuckers cry, bro. That's all they do on Twitter. Well, I'm really black because my parents were here in 1945 and they know Martin Luther King. Shut the up. That's why foreigners come to this country and laugh at you, bro. Real talk. Chinese people come to this Chinese food spot in the hood. The Indian people, they go open up a convenience store in the hood. The Arabs, they come into the United States, they go put a store in the hood and them niggas can't even drink. They laughing at you, stupid.
Yep. Facts. I'm just telling you 100%. That's exactly what they do, and that's exactly what they think. Okay, the Arab man comes over here. He sets up a smoke shop, right? He is literally selling cancer to black folks, right, and getting rich off of it. And you know what he does with that money? They take that money and they go and they shop at the Arab man store, right, and support their own community, right, and give it to their mosque, and they support themselves. That's exactly what they do, right? Same thing for the Chinese man. Chinese man comes over here. He sets up an American Chinese shop in the black community, right? Gets rich off of black people, right? Eating their food that is very unhealthy. Okay, and then you know he takes the money and does? He goes and shops at the Chinese man store, right? That's exactly what they do. Okay, you know what the Indian man do? The Indian man comes over here. He opens up a gas station, right? Or some hotels. Indians love hotels too. Gas stations and hotels. Indians love those. They do either one of those. And guess what? They set up shop in the hood, right? And they make money off black folks. You know what they do with that money? They take that money and then they go shop at the Indian man store, right? And hey, they support their own community. That's what they do, okay? And they don't have the victim mindset, right? Because they're more focused on starting businesses, being smart with their money, and doing what they need to do to be successful despite the so-called systemic racism. That's why you don't see them really complaining about all that much, because they just outcompete. I'm just being real. That is the difference between cultures, right? Some of these immigrants that come over here and they dominate and they do so well because they get it, right? They have the hustle mindset. And they realize that there's so much opportunity in this country. If you just take advantage of it, you just go get it. It's there. It's not that hard. But for whatever reason, every other community has figured it out, but black people still haven't really figured it out.
So I didn't know if you had anything to jump in with. I mean, do you feel agree, partially agree, disagree, anything?
So I agree with what he's saying as far as what foreigners think of us. I think that that's 100% accurate. Because it's true. Like any other race that comes into this country, they come into our communities and they profit off of us because they know that they can. Because they know that we're gonna go and buy their stuff. And I had a lot of different thoughts, but I'm trying to figure out how to put it in order, I guess I should say. The issue, and I know, we talk about this all the time, and I'll say this and I'll let you go. But I'm gonna say the issue that these foreigners that come over here into the US, the issue that they don't really understand that, yeah, when they look at you, they see you, well, in Myron's case, or what have you, like when they look at him, they don't say, oh, okay, well, he's from Sudan or he's Sudanese or whatever. They look at him and he's automatically black or brown. If you're not Caucasian, you're other, basically. So I get what he's saying, and basically, in that regard, like they're not checking to see exactly what your nationality is. You pretty much kind of get the same treatment, but the mentality of the people in these other countries, these immigrants that come over here, they have a different mentality than we have here in the States. And nobody ever really seems to address that part of it. They always want to go in and say like, oh, we play the victim card, this, that, and the third. And it's just like, yeah, we play a victim card, but it's not really playing a card. It's what we were dealt. Okay, that's exactly what it is. It's not like we're making stuff up. We were ripped from our homeland. You weren't. You have a sense of pride that we don't have. We don't have any type of sense to our, to you know what I'm saying, to where we come from. We don't have that. And yes, it's systemic because that was done intentionally to divide and conquer. If you strip people away from their home, and we all know that family home, that's your foundation for you as an individual. If you're ripping that away from the people, what do they have to go off of? We don't have any unification as black people in this country as African Americans. And I say African Americans because we were, I don't necessarily, that's a whole nother topic. I don't necessarily want to go into that right now. But yeah, African Americans or what have you. We don't have a sense of unity because we were stripped from our homeland. When Jamaicans come over here, they don't have that issue. You know why? Because they got a hell of a lot of pride being Jamaican. Yep. Because they grew up in their culture. That wasn't stripped away from them. When people come over here from Sudan or China or Haiti or pretty much any other place of minorities, when they come over here, they have a sense of pride because their culture wasn't stripped away from them. So they have that to fall back on, and they have a sense of community. We don't have that. We don't. Now, we could talk about the fact that we need to work on that or what have you, but you do have to recognize that that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference between foreigners that come over here that are, you know, brown complexion, brown skin or what have you, versus the people who are here. And we never want to talk about that because we just want to say, oh, that, you know, black people lazy and they playing this victim mentality. No, it's not playing nothing. That's what we were dealt. So you have to recognize that part as well. You can't just take a piece of it and be like, oh, well, this is why y'all doing it. No, you got to look at the whole picture. It's not the same. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I'm jealous of the Jewish community. I'm jealous of the way Jewish people do business. And I'm jealous not just for me, but for our entire culture.
Kanye West isn't jealous of the Chinese. He's not jealous of Jewish people. Kanye West is ignorant to the fact that when you bring in a people from another land and you separate them from each other and force them to work in slave-like conditions, preventing them from learning about their history, ancestry, or their lineage, you prevent them from being able to come together like the Jewish, prevent them from being able to stand under their own nation like the Chinese. Kanye West isn't jealous of these cultures. Kanye West just doesn't have a home. Kanye West just doesn't know where he comes from, like most black people in this country. That's why black people get taken from so much in this country, because black culture and American culture get intertwined so often. But if you tell Kanye West something like this, it'll force him to recant on those comments he made 4 years ago about 400 years being a choice. It would immediately conflict with a lot of his existing views that I don't think he genuinely cares about to the extent that he would go and research them in depth to make sure that he was properly informed about everything that he was talking about, because I don't believe the motive here is about information. I believe the motive here is about money.
All right, I'm gonna just piggyback off of all of that fire that she just spit. Okay, so for me, much like her, I agree with him in part, and in part, no, I can't say disagree because he's just saying what they think. So I do agree with him. Right. This is what they think. Right. And he's like, yo, get it together. So I don't disagree with that at all. Much like O said, there's a part to the puzzle that other people don't have to deal with and they don't recognize. Right. And to be quite honest, they don't have to. We have to recognize this. African Americans have to recognize it. We have to recognize the enduring psychological damage that comes from coming from that. It is not so much the slavery and the segregation and the oppression that's the problem. The problem was the erasure of who you are. Yes. And also the people that came here. It is not like they went to one tribe and brought a bunch of people over here from one tribe who shared one culture. It was a bunch of people who were already enslaved and who were being enslaved and being captured and brought over here in the transatlantic slave trade. So it was already a mixture of people from different lands. As a matter of fact, they took it upon themselves to specifically break up families, to break our spirit. So the idea that we would be able to even salvage our culture, we're sitting there and I'm sitting there with a guy from a whole nother country. Just because we're both from Africa doesn't mean we have anything in common. Right. Right? And we're all on the ship together, and maybe I would band with other people who are my countrymen or whatever the case may be. And then even that close little bit of attachment that we would have to be able to preserve some type of culture is then also stripped away intentionally. Yep. So we have nothing to fall back on. And a lot of the people from these other countries don't understand the impact that have on the people. They did it on purpose because they knew it would divide us. That's everybody else who's not African American. You didn't have that happen to you. Exactly. Having your culture there gives you something to fall back on. It is a foundation for you to build your belief system on and to create a community amongst your people. We as African Americans don't have that sense of community because number one, we didn't all come from the exact same place. So there's one disparity. Number two, whatever we did remember from our homeland was stripped away intentionally so you wouldn't have a sense of self. If you don't have a sense of self, it is hard to build. If you have no foundation, there's no way you can build on it. So there's that part of it, right? So there's that part that just went and she did and I expounded on it. That is huge. I could get more into it, but we don't have all day. The other part is for my fellow African Americans. Other people from other countries are never going to care. They don't understand what it's like to be us. And guess what? They don't care. Like at the end of the day, they don't. And guess what? They don't have to care. White people, some of them probably are like, it was sad. But let's be real, y'all. Every time Pookie, Ray Ray, Tariq, and all of them get shot, is it a bunch of white people at the funeral? They don't care either. People in this country care about the people in their household and extended family members and the few friends that they find. That's who people care about. The majority. They don't generally care about you. The majority. They don't generally care about other people. That's in general. That's everybody. So guess what? White folk ain't never gonna fix it for us. Caucasians ain't never gonna fix it for us. No, it's the truth. It doesn't matter how pure they're. You can find one that is the coolest, nicest, most like, oh, we're all even under God and all this other stuff, and they can be woosah and weeded up and 21,000. You know, believe in peace, love, and hair grease and all of that other stuff. It could be the most down-to-earth person you will ever meet in your entire life. It could be somebody who you feel has a better and purer heart than even your black brothers and sisters, your fellow African-American brothers and sisters. They're not going to fix it for us. Immigrants are not going to fix it for us. So what are we going to do about it?
They can help, but
what are we going to, but even then, they're just going to help. They're not going to initiate a movement that's going to be the catalyst to change for the situation in which we find ourselves. It's on us. And that's the thing that people like Myron, and I'm assuming that the black conservative perspective, I don't know his name, this is the first video I've ever seen from him. This is where what are we going to do about it?
That part.
And they're like, well, I'm not going to sit here feeling sorry for myself. I'm going to get up. I'm going to build something for me and my family. And this is where me and O come in. Building better relationships. Building better families. Building better communities. Because that's where it has to start. It has to start with us fixing our relationships, especially in the African American community. We fix our relationships, we can fix our families, we can fix our communities and have a sense of self. It doesn't matter what part of Africa your ancestors were from when they brought over here. We all went through the same trauma together. We have a bonding agent, but we refuse to acknowledge it. We refuse to want to look outside of ourselves. We refuse to stop being selfish. And as long as we're selfish, we're never going to get anywhere. Because out of all of them, they could talk about us being lazy, this, that, and the third. If we were so lazy, we wouldn't have the second highest number of millionaires in the United States behind Caucasians. Some of us are lazy. Just like if you went back to their countries, some of them are lazy. Some of them are workaholics. Some of them will take a chance and go to a foreign country that they've never been, i.e. America, because they know they can build a better life and get their and bust their bunk. You got to understand that we got the people that were willing to take the chance to jump off the cliff. Those are the people that are here. The people that are willing to jump the cliff. If you had to tell a whole bunch of black people, African Americans, hey, we want you to go over to Africa, establish your family, and try to build something from nothing, how many do you think would be going? It wouldn't be a lot of us. So you got the people over here that are willing to bust their butt. Stop comparing yourself to them, because if you went to their country, you would see that it would be a bunch of broke, lazy, not wanting to work people in their country too.
Yep.
So it ain't a we lazy thing. So we have to come together so that we can fix the situation that we're in, because nobody else is going to do it for us.
Yep.
If we don't open up our eyes that we need each other, it's never going to happen.
Bruh.
It's literally on us. So that would be the one thing, like I said, everything that he said, low-key, I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that there's a missing component on the other side that we as African Americans have to acknowledge, because they don't have to acknowledge it. It's not going to stop them, it's going to stop us.
Right.
You know, that's the message we have to have between each other,
yes,
about what slavery did to us that makes us unique from every other person who sits there and tries to have an opinion on what we went through and what the psychological damage that's passed down. They don't have to deal with the damage that their parents had to go through. They don't have to deal with strung out, drugged out parents. They don't have to deal with our parents that are going through all of these single family homes. They don't understand what it's like to have their culture ripped from them.
Right.
They don't have to.
Nope.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be our bonding agent. We have something that none of them have. We have a greater amount of suffering. And since suffering is necessary for success, we need to get together so we can get some of the success, because this suffering is some bullshit, man. I'm just really not here for it no more. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna give you the buck. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even matter what they say or what they think.
Right.
What do we think? And what are we gonna do about it?
Yep.
I think I'm done with that.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Bruh.
I think I'm done with that. That was a very interesting, different
Yeah.
twist on what we normally do.
Yeah, but comment down below and let us know what you think.
Yeah, what y'all think?
What you think about this whole conversation?
What y'all think?
Do you identify with what we shared? Do you identify with what they shared?
Yes.
Do you have a totally different perspective?
Yes.
Go ahead and drop it down below and let us know. All right?
Yes.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Okay, and turn on that little bing, that bell notification, so you can know
Yes.
we upload.
Mhm,
All right?
mhm.
But until then, that's pretty much going to do it for this episode.
I think that's it, baby.
All right.
Thanks.
Deuces.
Okay, y'all. So real quick, we just wanted to encourage and also just share with you guys just another thing that has been happening with the J&O Show. So earlier this week, Jay was in a car accident, and thank God he's doing fine. He's well, as you can see, he's here. However, our car is not. I don't know if you guys can see that. It was a pretty hard hit, as you can see. The damage there, I don't know if you guys can see that good. Basically, all the airbags actually deployed from the driver's side all the way back. All 3 airbags basically deployed. Making this video, like I said, to kind of share with you guys what's been going on, but also just to kind of to testify, because this happened right after he dropped off our kids to school. One of our kids sits on this side by where the impact happened. So thank God they weren't in the car. That's number 1. Number 2, in life, as you all know, things happen. You know, a lot of times we don't understand why it happens, but we've been going through a lot of different things lately, and I thank God for his wisdom and his word and his revelation, because we have been able to see the silver lining. And the Bible says that, you know, what the devil meant for evil, God works it out basically for your good. And although this was a terrible situation, and, you know, Jermaine was affected by being in the accident, but again, thank God he's doing fine. This for us is kind of a blessing in disguise, because this is going to be considered a total loss, I'm sure. We're still waiting on the insurance basically to let us know, but because of all the airbags that deployed, I'm pretty sure it will be. And then of course the damage itself. But for us, that's a blessing in disguise, because it's going to free us up to actually go and look at something else, because that's what we actually wanted to do. We wanted to actually get another car, but we were concerned because, you know, cars ain't cheap, especially now with inflation and everything that's going on. And we were just like, we don't want to have basically another bill. So yeah, you know, that is a blessing in disguise for us, because Sorry, sun is in my eyes, so I'm squinting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a blessing in disguise for us because, like we said, this is something that we have been talking about for a while now. And then this happened. Of course, at first it was a shock. Scary. It's just like, oh my gosh, you know, are you okay? Is everything all right? But then immediately after, it was just like, you know what? Like, this situation sucks, but I know that God is going to work it out because he's been doing that for us. He's been doing that for us, and I know he's going to continue to do that for us. So I don't know who's out there who needs to hear this, but I just felt compelled. We felt compelled that we needed to share this and put it out there for any of you who may be going through some things. If you don't know Jesus, if you don't know the Lord, get to know him. Get to have your own personal relationship with him. I know a lot of people tend to shy away from religion because they feel as though, you know, it divides and things of that nature. But one thing I can definitely tell you is when you are connected to the Creator, the one who, you know, created basically everything that there is, and you seek him, you know, for understanding, and you go to him basically for everything. He reveals things to you, and he gives you that peace and that mindset that kind of helps you even when you're going through difficult times. So that was all I pretty much wanted to say.
I'm gonna throw in there, religion divides, but God doesn't.
Exactly.
So, you know, don't have angst against God because of what religion and what people do. There's also a Bible verse that speaks and says, don't judge me by my people, because people of God have always been flawed, and they always will be.
Exactly.
You can't really judge God by what they do, and that's why personal relationship is very important. And at the end of the day, you know, with everything, I'm not even gonna cap. When this happened, I was irate because I was hit. It was a hit and run, and I was livid.
We didn't sink it.
And, you know, I called my wife, of course, let her know what happened, because I was like, now we got to, because I just wanted to start figuring out how to get past the issue, but I was pissed. She was like, calm down, babe. She was like, this is a blessing in disguise. Wait until you figure out why it's happening. And as things started to come out, you know, certain things like, in this car is as good of a car as it is, you know, every time we went somewhere, because of a part that we needed and the repair that we needed that cost $1,500, which we didn't have to pay, by the way. But every time we went somewhere, and as you can see, we all bundled up, right? Starting to feel New Jersey type weather up in here. My wife was freezing.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get the part because of COVID. So for the last year, she's been driving around in the car in the wintertime. When it's cold, she's cold. So, like I said, blessings in disguise. And there's more things too. So I just want to say my little piece that your mindset really determines whether or not things are a blessing for you or not. It's not so much about the event or where you are or what's happening to you. It's your mindset. And sometimes you can see how things are going to turn out. And then, you know, eventually I think when we get our new car, maybe we'll do like some type of maybe like, hey, this is what we ended up with. And, you know, my wife ain't cold. So,
yeah.
And I guess that's about it. You know, no crazy Jermaine antics for today. I'm pretty sure you're going to get it in the video that you see before you get to this. I think I'm going to put this at the end for the real ones who actually watch our videos faithfully. And that you really support us. I'm gonna put this at the end of the video, just a little peek into our life. I think I'm gonna start doing it when we have little peeks into our life. I'll throw it at the end for the people who actually really rock with us, who really support us, who really got love for us, so that y'all can see a little bit more insight into the things that's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys.
For sure.
We appreciate
and
you.
we appreciate the new subs too.
Yes, we appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Hope that everyone is doing well, staying healthy, and yeah. That's pretty much it, right?
That about it?
All right. We'll see y'all next go round. Peace.
I'll look at the camera.